Netflix is opening 2 locations across the country for its new Netflix House concept. One of them is in King of Prussia, along with some very high-end stores being opened in the King of Prussia Mall campus. What does it all mean? I'll break it down next. So if you get some value out of this or you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. And if you want to schedule a call with our team about your real estate needs or how this might impact your real estate you currently own, just do that with the link in the comments. The Netflix House, owned by Netflix. Surprising, I know. They're opening 2 locations across the country, one in Dallas, the other in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, our backyard. And a third location is slated to be open in the Las Vegas Strip in 2027. So what is the Netflix House? Is probably the first question. So it's 100,000 square feet in the former Lord & Taylor department store that closed about 5 years ago in 2020. And they have this rendering here. Nick's going to put it up on the video. And it looks like something out of a video game or like The Sims, where they're building all these different rooms. And the first 2 installations planned in King of Prussia revolve around the show Wednesday, the Addams Family spinoff, and the fantasy adventure series One Piece. And there's going to be different installations that cycle in and out of the venue in the future to attract the fans of the streaming service. And to me, that makes a ton of sense because these shows are so popular. I mean, you think about Stranger Things or some of the other shows that have been on Netflix that people absolutely love. Wednesday, the Eve of the Outcast, is going to be a school carnival-themed tour through the world of the Addams Family and Wednesday, and it's going to include games, some surprises, sort of a haunted house style adventure. And for One Piece, they're planning an escape room that puts visitors in a high stakes race to reach a mysterious devil fruit. All sounds very exciting. They're also going to have mini golf. We don't have a lot of mini golf courses around here, so I love that. And the holes are going to be inspired by Netflix shows and movies. There's going to be some VR stations there that are going to let players immerse themselves in games inside the world of the Netflix shows. And they're going to have the Netflix Bites restaurant, which will serve food and cocktails after some of the original shows and movies on Netflix, which is very cool. So they've had these like pop-up events before. This is one of 2 major openings. Very, very cool spot. But there's more happening in King of Prussia. You got Italy opening, the Italian food hall that's all over the country. And you've got some really interesting tenants coming to King of Prussia. There's going to be a Tommy Bahama Marlin bar coming to King of Prussia. There's all these new stores that are opening. Kizik, a footwear retailer. Oak and Fort, which is luxury fashion. Psyche for sophisticated menswear. I'll be interested to check that one out. You got Tecovas, which is Western boots and accessories. So you got all these stores that are coming. American Eagle's back in the King of Prussia Mall. There's Camp, which is a toy and gift store. Swatch, remember Swatch watches? They're coming there. Cluster's handcrafted popcorn. K-Pot, which is a Korean restaurant. All these things are coming to King of Prussia. And what's amazing to me is that we're in an era where local malls like the Exton Mall, the Granite Run Mall, they've closed. The Plymouth Meeting Mall is barely occupied, and you've got King of Prussia thriving, which says a lot about the local economy. So all very cool things happening. What does this mean for people that live in and around King of Prussia and in the Philly suburbs? Well, there's going to be some job creation, right? You're going to have increased economic activity. People are looking at King of Prussia more as a destination to go to than a place to shop, and they could create retail jobs. You're going to see hospitality jobs, entertainment, maybe draw some more workers to the area, but it's going to be modest. It's not going to be like some of these other companies that come here. There's also going to be a boost to local appeal because King of Prussia is now becoming this regional entertainment center. They've got the iFly space there where you can simulate skydiving. You've got escape rooms there. There's more to do than just go shopping. And that could lead to increased interest in some of the nearby housing. So places like Bridgeport, Conshohocken, Upper Marion Township, even Norristown could see a bump in interest for people that want to be close to King of Prussia. They want to be able to live there. They want to be able to access that. Phoenixville, Tredeffert and Easttown's already a great and sought-after place to live. but you could see more of that. Even Methacton and Audubon and some of that 422 corridor there, that could all benefit from this commercial and hospitality investment happening in King of Prussia. Places with high foot traffic and vibrant retail typically see rising property values. That's all good news here. There's also going to be maybe some additional development. If this is a success, there could be more commercial properties that flip into some of these entertainment venues. You've got places like Bury the Hatchet, the axe throwing venue that's right in an office park there. You could see more of that stuff pop up. And it's probably going to have a small impact on housing supply. So the influx of workers and visitors could increase the demand for housing without supply growth. So there could be even more demand in King of Prussia and the surrounding areas. There could be demand on hotels, which there's a decent amount in King of Prussia, but there could be more. This could lead to some of these adjacent neighborhoods seeing their values pop up. Maybe investors come there and fix and flip some properties that are in disrepair. It could, gentrify some of the adjacent neighborhoods and see more money coming into there. Maybe some more new developments like the Toll Brothers developments we've seen along Main Street in King of Prussia. So all of this, to me, is a win. When you're seeing 3 of these get developed, one's Dallas, one's Las Vegas, and the third is King of Prussia, that's great for the local market. It's going to bring more money, hopefully more jobs, and more interest in housing, and it could be a big benefit to a lot of the homeowners that live in and around these areas. King of Prussia is now becoming a destination, a lot like the Mall of America. When we're seeing malls close, this is great news for people living in and around the area or folks that want to move here. So let's hope we see more high-end retail, more stores, more entertainment venues come to King of Prussia and continue to build that venue.